This is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and welcome to Friday Fun. We've got so much lined up today. I hope I can get to say hey to everybody, but I'm going to try to do some of that real quick, and then we're going to jump right on in. Thank you guys for waiting so patiently. We have Angie, Swati, Jan, Wanda, Gordon, Judy, Alana, let's see, Brenda Mack, Sherry, let's see, Wanda the backwards, wrong side crocheter. Hey, my friend Wanda, and Emily Price. Hey, good to see that you can make it. And let's see, Najla's in the chat again today. Hey, Najla, thank you so much for joining us. Let's see, and we have Marie Proudfoot. Hey, Marie, and Lynn Burr from sunny Florida, my home state, and Cynthia Burke. A lot of people here, so I'm going to just go ahead. We have Archer and Ace. Hey, thank you for joining us. We have Hannah, my daughter in Maryland, moderating our chat for us. So I've got some. Hey, Elaine, good to see you in the chat. Oh, thank you, Suzanne. She likes my top. And I just want to let you know, I thought I'd be getting this ready sooner, but this is going to be an early May release. Okay, so this easy crochet top, it's all wattle stitch except for the bottom ribbing here. It's coming out early May, I promise. It's done. It's in the hands of my editor now. So as soon as we get this back from her, it's going live in May. And I have another one that I'm real excited too that's going to follow that. So if you're looking for some nice cotton tops with yardage, look for number 2 yarn. This was made with Knitting Fever's painted lace yarn. Oh, thank you so much, Archer Nation. You've just bumped us up to $35 for the next song. But that just leads me into what we're going to do this morning. It's a little goofy if you've never been to my channel. I am, all disclaimers aside, I am not a singer. I was more of an instrumentalist in college. Never claimed to be a singer, so I ask for your pardon what's about to happen here. But the generosity of your hearts is enabling us to together donate $100 to the Rancho 3M orphanage. It's a children's orphanage and Christian school in some of the poorest, one of the poorest places really in Mexico, Guadalupe. And it's a place near and dear to my heart. My daughter and I years ago actually visited there, spent a week working on the compound. So that will be going to them, and the SuperChat is where that comes from. So again, I don't solicit that, but if you are interested and ever wanted to contribute to that, feel free, and just know that I pay any extra fees. Any money you donate goes totally to the organization that we're going to try to sponsor for that month. Well, let me go ahead and do that. So I have a song for you guys. And again, I ask your forgiveness if this is a song you love, because I'm about to ruin it for you. And this is one that we did at CGOA a couple years ago. I guess it was 2019. I guess it was the last summer we could travel. And it's based on a song it was popularized by Eric Clapton years ago, but it's originally written by another musician by the name of J.J. Cale. So if any of you are familiar with this, and the original title, well, if you're familiar with Eric Clapton, you'll get it. So I gotta put on my cool. That's the only way I can get it. Okay. Well, you know what? I can't see the guitar with these things, so I'm gonna punt on the glasses. But just pretend I'm looking real cool for you. And if you want to think jazzy feel and add that to what you're hearing, because I'm not a jazz artist, let's give it a try. Okay, here we go. Hold on a second. Wrong key. Let's try a different key. Okay, here we go. When you're down and out, you've got to take it out. Crochet. When you're going to town and you wanna sit down, crochet. Yarn your bind, yarn your bind, yarn your bind. crochet. When your back's out of whack and it's leaving you flat, crochet. When the doctor is in, but you gotta wait for them, crochet. Yarn your buy, yarn your buy, yarn your buy, crochet. When your day is done, but you wanna rock on, crochet. Don't forget this fact, you've got more yarn in your stash, crochet. Yarn your buy, yarn your buy, yarn your buy, crochet. Yarn your buy, yarn your buy, yarn your buy, it'll be fine, crochet. I hope you like that. Kind of a silly, and I do apologize to Mr. Clapton and to Mr. Kale for ruining that. But just one of the fun things that we like to do, and we've had a ball doing in the past at CGOA. Let me go ahead and see what you got. Oh, guys, thank you so much for your encouragement here. I so appreciate that. I had to get the old fingers out and try to get the calluses back a couple days ago. Not sure I quite made it, but I need to do that some more. All right. Oh, thank you, Suzanne. Thank you for that $5. So that brings us up to $40 for the next time I do something silly to embarrass you guys. So let me go ahead and say hey to a few other people. Hey, Heather, thank you for your kind comment there. And thank you. I'm glad you like the top. I really do like the way these things fit. It's 100% cotton, by the way. And while we're talking about that, let me show you another one. I showed you this last week. I did a little different finish on the neckline. You can always improvise. I know you guys do. This is the prototype. I decided to punt on this neckline for the real one, but I just worked the knurl stitch instead of working a slip stitch for the last row around the collar. I think I like the slip stitch better, honestly. But this is one cake of yarn that I had in my stash. It was it took under 1,000 yards for a size medium. I think if you do, let's say large, extra large, and bigger, you're probably gonna need like 2 cakes of those. But if you have about 1,000 yards, this is all I needed for this top. Actually, this was less than 800 yards. This was about 850 yards for the one that I'm wearing. So maybe you could get maybe you could get, if you have a cake of like, you know, those weight number 2 cotton yarns that they have on the market. I know Red Heart has had one in the past. Don't know if they're still there. The one that I made, the pink and red one, came from AC Moore, which is out of business. And I did try looking this yarn up yesterday. Someone said that some of the Stitch Studio yarn is available at Michael's, but I didn't find this yarn. So, but I do know there are many others, and like the one that I'm wearing, again, is the Painted Lace by Knitting Fever. And I'll have all the links for that in the video description when this is released. And this is going to be released both on my YouTube channel as well as on my Watch channel. I'll just put a little plug in for that for those of you who don't know. I do have an ad-free, commercial-free, spam-free streaming service that has the majority of my designs available. There are many patterns, not all, but there are many patterns also included with the membership of the streaming service. And you can check that out. There's a link in the video description below at watch.bonniebaycrochet.com. It is $6.95 per month, but if you get it for the year, you save about 2 months worth, if that makes sense. So whatever, you know, the yearly fee is minus 2 months is what it would be for a yearly fee. So, you know, if you're interested in checking that out, I think you'll like it, especially if you like to purchase PDF downloads, because it will include, you know, like when I release this pattern, for example, my subscribers don't have to buy the pattern because it's complimentary. The same with the Afghan here, which was Bonnie's spring that's not right. It's yeah, spring cables and lace pattern, which is on this YouTube channel. It's also in my Lovecraft store where you'll find a lot of the patterns. So anyway, enough of that. I just wanted to let you all know in case you're new and haven't heard this before. Let me go ahead and say hey to some more people. We have Regine from France, near Paris. Oh my goodness, you make me want to go there, Regine. Thank you for watching us. It's probably the evening there now. And Terry Redmond from San Diego. We have Jacqueline Lafridge in the chat, and from LA. Thank you for joining me again. And let's see, Donna from Ohio. We have Rosa from Puerto Rico. Hola, my friend. Buenos dias. And we have Twyla from North Carolina. Hey, neighbor. I'm down here in South Carolina this week. And we have Debbie. Oh, thank you, Debbie. Yeah, the glasses didn't last too long. Oh, you think maybe these glasses? Great. These are, by the way, these are a lot of fun. I got these off of, okay, I'm not selling these guys, but just in case those of you are looking for these, a couple years ago, I found out about these blue tint glasses that are supposed to protect your eyes from a lot of computer work. And I do a lot of computer work, probably as much computer work as I do crochet, if they're tied together. But these have like a blue tint on them, so they kind of protect my eyes. And since I started using these, I promise you my eyes are not nearly as tired as they were when I didn't have that blue light protection. And I get like 4 pairs from Amazon with this coating, and I think it's like, I don't know, $14 or $15 for like 4 pair. And so I just get a pack of them every so often because, you know, I lose them. I use them as headbands sometimes, which tends to break them occasionally. I drop them, I step on them, but anyway, these are great. You can get them in various magnifications. I'm 2.0 for anybody interested, but they have different, you know, magnifications. So again, I'm not a salesperson for these, but if you need the link, let me know. Just contact me, or just look them up on Amazon. They're great. Okay, so I digressed a little bit there. Again, thank you, Archer Nace, and for your contribution there. We have Mary Weber from Georgia. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. First time. Thank you for joining us today, Mary. I'm going to be talking about Georgia a little bit towards the end there. I've got an amazing story to tell you, and pray for me that I can tell it without a lot of tears, because they'd be tears of happiness. But lots of great things happening there in the midst of disaster, which is so incredible. So let's see what else we have. We have, say, Cynthia. Thank you. She liked the song. In case you guys didn't recognize, that was a song that Eric Clapton made popular called Cocaine. And yeah, I just thought that song needed which was actually a great song. I really liked the message behind it, which was, I think, kind of a sobering message, but it's kind of fun to redeem a song every now and then too. All right. Let's see. We have, oh, thank you, Heather. Heather says she likes the top. And, oh, thank you, Emily. She says she's putting a box of clothes together for that orphanage. I'm not sure how that would work on shipping them to them, but you could look into that. You can contact them directly to find out if that's even a possibility. We have Sal Gal. She says, happy Friday from Northern Arizona. Well, happy Friday to you too, a friend. And we have Pat from Yorkshire, England. Oh, sweet. I'm so glad you could join us, Pat. Enjoy your afternoon tea, or probably getting ready for that evening meal. And we have Faye from Houston. And again, Suzanne, thank you again for that contribution there. So we're up to $40 for the next time around. And we have Laura. And thank you, Laura, for that comment. And we have Daily Racing 99 says, Josh here from LA, listening for my wife, Swati. Happy to be here. Aw, I'm wondering, are you into racing? Because that's something our family has really enjoyed as viewers, as something that we've enjoyed NASCAR over the years. But that I'd be interested to find out, that your interest in racing there. We have, Robin. Let's see. Yeah, Archer Nay says, can't find the yarn for the top. If you go to Knitting Fever, they have a site, I believe, knittingfever.com, and you can find it there. Brace yourself for the price. It's not cheapy yarn, okay? It's very specially dyed yarn. But what I'm recommending to you all is be on the lookout for a number 2, and you might even be able to use a sock weight, but I think like a sport weight yarn works really well. I have some other yarn that I'll be showing you in future broadcasts that I think would work. And I'm going to be getting some yarn this week, some designer yarn from a company that I really, really love their, just the way they do their business. They're based in Churchville, Virginia, in the way out in the countryside. I stopped there before. I've met I've met Francis, who's the owner, many times at conferences and at the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. He has a yarn that it's affordable yarn, I promise you, and it's let's see, it's Virginia grown cotton. And this man also owns a mill, so he mills it to himself. And I've used some of his yarn in my other books. The Contemporary Celtic Crochet book, the green cover right there behind me. I used some of his yarn in that book. I really, really liked it. But this yarn is a number 2. It's a sport weight. It's blended with linen from France. So you have Virginia cotton with linen from France. So I don't know how that's going to work up yet, but I am really excited about trying it. And I'm going to give you guys a full, honest report once I get it from him. And maybe I'll do an unboxing or something, for you so that we can enjoy the thrill of that together and seeing what it's going to be like. So I will get back to you on that. So, but be on the lookout. Any yarn that you like, I know that Premier Yarns has an acrylic cotton blend you can buy at Michael's, in those balls of yarn. I can't remember the name right now, but they're available widely, and that could even work. It's a little bit heavier than what I'm wearing, but you could use that. That would work very well for this project if you can handle acrylic in the summertime. I am a cotton girl, natural, breathable stuff all the way, but the I can't think of the name, but anyway, that other yarn would work as well for these tops. And okay, Regine's like, where's the link for the donate? Okay, Regine, if you're talking about the like the song that we just did, that's called the Super Chat. It's down along the bottom. You'll see a little number sign. That's what handles that. If you're interested in that, but again, that no pressure ever from me, I promise you. Yeah, Najla says, cocaine can be replaced with crochet. What a wonderful world. Amen, friend. I like that. Yes, you can. I don't know if the cocaine users would like the crochet as much as the cocaine, but it's definitely a cheaper option, and it's definitely healthier and better for the world. Amen and amen on that. And let's see, we have Alana from Tennessee. Thank you, Alana, for your sweet comment. Alana, Tennessee. Okay, not from Tennessee. Alana, Tennessee. Okay, got it. Let's see. We have Wanda, Janet Lowe. Oh, thank you. She gave me a standing ovation. Oh, that's so sweet. I'm just glad my fingers kind of cooperated there. And let's see. I'm getting a little behind here. Oh, yes. I'm seeing a comment in the chat. I do want to extend my condolences to you all from the UK, on the passing of Prince Philip. It was uncanny that I heard that sad news today. I know he's not been doing well. I mean, he passed away, in case you haven't heard, at the age of 99. He's the husband of the Queen Elizabeth II. And just last night, my husband and I have been watching the series The Crown, and I told you about that. And we're only watching it when we're together. And he's been in town for a couple days, and we're enjoying our a sweet time together before he has to go back home. But we watched 2 episodes last night, and one was specifically directed. It's season 3. I think it was episode 7 or 8, and it was on 1969, which involved the moonshot, and the story was about Prince Philip's meeting of the 3 astronauts who were a part of Apollo 11, and it was probably one of my favorite episodes so far. And there was a spiritual component as well to the story, which I thought was extremely well written. So if you all don't watch anything else on Netflix or anything else part of The Crown, watch season 3 episode, it's either 7 or 8. It starts out with the moon shot, or watching the moon shot. So it was just beautiful, and it was all featured about Prince Philip. And so my husband and I fell asleep last night, talking about that episode, and about the prince and everything. And it was just very, surreal to awaken, to the sad news. But anyway, my heart does go out to our friends in the UK, and our prayers and thoughts are definitely with you all. I know it's been it's a hard season to walk through with COVID and all of this. So anyway, yes, I thank you, Diane, for that prompt in the chat. Let's see. Okay, so the question about racing. Okay, let's see. Daily Racing 99 says, which is Swati's husband, says, I used to race go-karts on the Midwest circuits when I was younger, raised in India, and saw the 500 a few times. Wow, lucky you. That is so amazing. That is so cool. Yeah, I grew up going to local tracks in Hialeah, Florida. Many Saturday nights there. They only had like a quarter mile track there. But we're able to take our children to see a Darlington race. One time, we have 5 kids, so it was not a cheap venture, but that was kind of their Christmas present one year, was tickets to Darlington. So, and we have a wonderful memory. That was 2009, I believe, that we did that. So it's been a while, but I would love to go to another one. But anyway, let's and I would love to see an Indy race for sure, but have not been able to do that. But I am so glad that you guys are able to do that. That's wonderful. Okay, let's see. And I'm reading, trying to get caught up here. Someone gave me the name of that cotton that where did it go? See, I catch up, and then it kind of goes blonk. It just jumps ahead of me. Okay, I read that. Hold on, guys. Okay, Premier Cotton Fair. Thank you, Suzanne. You were my brain today. Oh, thank you. Somebody, Regine, thank you so much. She says, I'm with them. Thank you for your $10 donation. Wow, that is really sweet. We're up to $50, guys, towards the next song. So we're at $50. Hannah helped me to remember that. Thank you, Suzanne. So cotton, okay, it's Premier Cotton Fair yarn at Michael's. There were little balls that comes in like, you can do solid colors, you could do stripes, but they also have variegated yarns, colors in that too, that are really quite pretty. So we have Susan in our chat, Nancy Kringle. Yeah, thank you for your kind comments. Yes, rest in peace, Prince Philip. Yeah, and Sandra says, amen to the crochet over the cocaine. Yeah. Yep, I agree with that. And Hannah, it was Philip. Hannah's wondering who passed away. It's Prince Philip. He is Prince Charles's father, who passed away. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and Esther says Esther, thank you. Esther is one of our other admin. Our other moderator admins is in our chat today. Hey, Esther, thank you for helping us. Yeah, she says she's praying for the Queen. Yeah, thank you for your kind comments. And we have Johnny in our chat. Hey, Johnny, it's good to see you. Our Florida friend. We were having some wonderful Florida weather yesterday. It was like 85 degrees, and we were driving around. We were out driving. My husband and I had a wonderful time out. And Deborah, thank you for your kind comments, and Roberta. And yeah. And let's see. And Laura says she loved the first season. Yeah, it's except for there were a couple. Laura's talking about the Crown program on Netflix. Like I said, there are a few episodes that are not children friendly at all. There are a couple there during the second season. You really need to kind of, I don't know, maybe get the fast forward key ready, but overall, you know, it's very excellent, very well done. I just can't endorse all of the content. I can, however, endorse all of the content for season 3. I think it was episode 7 or 8. So, okay, I can't remember which one it was, but it was one of those. Yeah, Najula also says she loves that show. Shows how human, you know, how human the prince was. Yeah, it was great. Okay, so it is episode 7. It's called Moon Dust. Yeah, that's it. It's a wonderful episode. Thank you for clarifying that for me, Najula. I appreciate that. So I guess we're about to start number 8. That's what the 8 sticking in my head from. All right. I am getting caught up, maybe, guys. We'll see. Yeah, he was. Najula says he was the smartest prince of the world. Yeah, I didn't know that Prince Philip, before he married Queen Elizabeth II, before, of course, they got married before she became queen. They got married before Queen Elizabeth's father, King George, died. But he was a Navy aviator. I mean, a naval aviator. I mean, the man, you know, flew fighter planes. I mean, very, very, very smart, very skilled. He gave up a lot for his role, but you know, very, very good guy. So I'm gonna keep going down here. Oh, we have Fortunata from Montreal. Thank you for joining us all the way from Canada. Wow. And Kelly wants to know if I'm in the bedroom doing the live. Actually, no. This is Mrs. Barker's office. I'm actually, in case some of you don't know, I've been living. I kind of go back and forth from my home in Maryland to my mother-in-law's house in South Carolina. She needs somebody to be here with her, just for, you know, medical reasons. So we've kind of rotate back and forth. My daughter Hannah and I do, and so this is her office. She has a beautiful home, and she keeps an impeccable house. I mean, I learned things from her, you know, because she's got definitely got the organizational gene that I did not get. I got the organizational gene, and I think that crowds out the I got the creation gene, which I think kind of null and voids the organizational one somehow, or at least it did in my case. I can be organized, but with my creative thinking, I just do better when things are out and about to remind me of what I'm doing. That's not the way she operates. Everything is put away neatly and concisely, and if I did that, I would never be able to find a thing. But I am learning from her. I do appreciate her style a lot. She's a great lady. And let's see. Laura says, August in Saratoga is an absolute favorite time of the year. Oh, great. I'm not sure what that's about, but yeah. We have Karen from the UK. Hey, Karen. Again, my condolences to you all in the UK this morning. And we have Cynthia from North Carolina near Charlotte. She says it's sunny and quite warm here today. Yeah, it's supposed to be up in the low 80s here today, which quite frankly, I'll take. This sounds great to me. Let's see, we have sit, stay, play, dog training in the chat. Wow. Hey, how you doing? Welcome, you and your dogs. That'd be great. Oh, thank you, Tammy. She's helping you guys with some tech. There was some IT. I so appreciate that. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Pat, for your comment. Yeah. Yeah, she said he had, okay. Yeah, he was very blessed for sure. He was almost lived to be 100, which is pretty amazing. What is this? What is this? Okay, I've missed something here. Hold on a second. Hold on, guys. I missed something sad here. Okay, this is Cynthia's comment in regards to Queen Elizabeth's loss. Okay, I see. I just want to make sure that there wasn't somebody else in the chat that was having a struggle. Thank you for your kind comments, y'all. Okay, so now I have some other things I need to show you. I will try to catch up where I can on these comments. I may not get to everybody today, just a warning. But I am really, really excited because I got something in the mail from Emily yesterday. And I tell you, as soon as I got a bag of this in the mail, I I was just super inspired. Okay, I was starting to feel a little, I don't know, just I guess with all that's been going on and being apart from my sweetheart a lot, I was getting a little just kind of weary of everything. I mean, just between me and you. And I kid you not, this came in the mail. It was kind of unexpected. And this is something that I'm going to be working on for Emily. I'm going to be doing a knitting project with this. So I can't tell you much about that, but this is the similar coloring in yarn for this project. Remember this? It was released on my watch site. Well, it's coming to my YouTube, the public YouTube channel this Monday. It's going to be scheduled for release, complete video tutorial. I have a link in the video description below if you want to buy a kit with the yarn or similar yarn to what I used for this. This is not your cheapy Walmart yarn, just to warn you, okay? This is your fancy pants kind of yarn. It's hand dyed. It was incredible to work with. And I'm not just trying to put a sales number on you with this. I mean, my eyes lit up. And like I said, my countenance went up when I got this. And I'm really looking forward to working with this. But this is a copy of the printed pattern that you could get if you order a kit from lambshopkits.com. The link is in the video description below. Now, if you don't, if you want to order a kit, but you don't want to get the fancy hand-dyed yarn, there is another kind of yarn available from Emily with lambshopkits.com, and it is more cost-effective. It's still superwash wool. And anyway, this comes with the kit. It is a printed copy, and let me just show you. It's beautifully printed. It's easy to read. Okay. All right. Very, very nicely done. And she has some beautiful crochet hooks. You have to check with her on that. Of course, the way she works this, you can build your own kit. If you don't want to buy an extra crochet hook, you don't have to. If you don't, I guess if you don't even need the copy of the pattern, you probably don't need to do that. But this is what you can get from her. If you just want to get the pattern from me, it is available right now in my Lovecraft store. And when you buy the pattern, the links are going to be public as of Monday. But if you wanted to download the pattern from my Lovecraft store, link in the video description below. The video is there for you to watch right now. So if you wanted to jump on it this weekend, if you have the yarn and so forth. So I just wanted to let you all know that is coming on Monday. That will be our big April release. And again, and if you just wanted to even get some of this yarn for a smaller project, you can check with Emily. I'm sure she'd be happy to send you some. So I just wanted to put a plug in for that. Very excited about that. And let's see, what else do we have? Oh, we have more yarn. Do you want to see more yarn? Oh, I'm doing okay on time for a change. Yay. Let me make sure. Hannah, make sure if anybody has a question, send it directly to me if you don't mind, sweetheart. I don't see any coming yet, so that's good. So I will try to get to your questions as a priority. But let me go ahead. Before I open this, let me explain what it is. Okay, just in a nutshell, this is KnitCrate. It's a monthly kind of a yarn club, would you call it? A yarn subscription. That's it, a yarn subscription. Okay, now I have to tell you that the cost, because of a lot of things, COVID, shipping, lots of difficulties, and a lot of companies, as you know, or may not know, but I've talked about this before. Um, a lot of COVID has brought about a lot of changes, a lot of interesting things, but all in a nutshell, there is an additional, I think it's $6.95 charge now for shipping. I think that's what it is. It's no more than that, but that is different. That's added to the regular price per month. So I just wanted to let you all know that. Didn't want you to find that out. Oh, she didn't say anything about that. Well, I'm not sure how they're doing that, but that is something that I think you need to think about. Even with that, you're not going to get a better deal, I don't think, anywhere on some of this yarn. They send it to you once a month. If you don't want to get the shipments anymore, all you do is say cancel, and it's canceled. If you've never done this and you wanted to try it for a month, for example, you can get a 10% discount if you use the coupon code Bonnie20. Just Bonnie and then the numbers 20. All that information's in the video description below with the link and the code and everything. So, well, anyway, let's see what's in here. And they usually send a project yarn for either a knit project or a crochet project. Ooh, let's see what we got here. Let me make sure and see if there's any other goodies. Let's see what we got. Okay, let's take a look at the little goodie things first. Oh, this is funny. Honk if you dropped a yarn ball. We should have one like honk if you've dropped your yarn ball on an airplane while on takeoff. Have you ever done that? I have. Not fun. I will say that. Not fun at all. I've done it once, not twice. So isn't that cute? Little sticker. I'm not sure where I'm going to put that, but we'll see. And let me take a look at what it says for March 2021. Okay. So what they've done is they've emailed me. They sent me this. And what we do now, because they're trying to save on, I guess, paper production and shipping, hence the bag that they ship is totally biodegradable and all that. And so in this, you can make with this yarn a pair of leg warmers, arm warmers, a pair of socks. You see that? Okay, let's take a look at the yarn. Of course, you can do anything you want with this, and I generally do kind of my own thing. Okay, oh my gosh, this feels incredible. This is called, is it Vita Lana by KnitCrate. It's called Celestial, and let me tell you what the makeup is. Oh wow, this is 90% alpaca, 10% tencel. This is an Aran weight, 150 yards each. So we have a total of 300 yards. Love to Craft says, I dropped the yarn ball last night when she was winding her yes, Hannah, she's asking if KnitCrate ships worldwide. I believe they do, or at least they did before COVID. So I don't know how COVID has affected that, but yes, they have shipped worldwide. So I would definitely check with them. So you have 300 yards of 90% alpaca, 10% tencel. Oh my gosh, this feels so soft. This would make a delightful scarf for somebody. Maybe I know women can wear this, or anybody, but I think I'm always looking for something that I can make for my guys. I'm thinking this is a manly scarf. This has got to be a manly scarf with the big fat cable down the middle of it. What do you think? I may have to do something like that with this. See how far 300 yards will go. I think 300 yards with a larger hook definitely could go easily maybe 300 yards with the larger knitting needle. See what we can do with this. But anyway, looking forward to using this in the future. That is really nice. All right, so now let's see, we did that. Okay, I've only got two. I'm really getting through my list, guys. Let me go ahead and say hey to some more of you guys just to see. Let's see. Okay, I read that. Okay, let me see if there's anybody that has any question. Hold on. Okay, Johnny's talking about, I guess, another series is The Tudors about Henry VIII, who I actually share a birthday with. Well, thank you, Johnny. I will have to check that out. I'm still watching the other one that you recommended. Although I have to tell you, if I'm feeling kind of sad missing my husband, I really don't want to watch a serious program, if you know what I mean. I just want to see something lighthearted and fun. I really am enjoying, the midwife series quite a bit, but I can only take that in small doses because it really affects me because it's so well done and it's so good. But when we were in England, 2019, we got to go to King Henry's estate or to his castle where he lived. So I definitely want to check that one out. We'll see how closely the set resembles the actual home of where he lived. That thank you for that recommendation. I will start that one maybe next week. Um, I get a lot of I try to get crocheting done during some of those, but if the program is so well done, I cannot concentrate on crochet because I'll miss something. Um, let's see. Stay at home. I'm sorry. Stay, play dog training. That's a mouthful. Says your mother-in-law rocks. Yes, she does. I tend for that one. She definitely rocks, and she just turned 92. And she's got a sharper brain and more get up and go despite her polio leg, which is why she needs somebody here with her. But despite that, she gets around. She gets around. Um, oh, thank you, Suzanne. God is good. God is gracious. I mean, and yeah, let's see. And Najula is giving us, filling us in a little bit on Prince Philip. Let me go back to that. Where was it? It just jumped ahead on me here, guys. Sorry about this. Well, I am behind. Ugh. For some reason, my computer's just now loading. Yeah, I'm way behind. Okay, I am not going to be able to get to all the chat, guys. I apologize to that in advance, but I am going to read every bit of it. Okay, Najla says, Philip was a Greek prince after the war. He went to Germany with his sisters who married Nazi officers, even though he never embarrassed the National Social. He was blamed for his sister's. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that went on post World War II that, quite honestly, was beyond a lot of people's control. I mean, so we can't, like, you can't blame everybody for stuff that their relatives do, can you? Please don't, because all of us would have something to on our plate to deal with, I'm sure. Okay, Hannah has a question. Suzanne wants to know when I'll be releasing the video for the tank top. Early April. Let me give you a specific date here. Looks like April 5th. April 5th. No. I'm sorry. May. Why am I, April, that's past. May the 3rd. May the 3rd, okay? So I was thinking, did I say early April? I'm sorry if I did. Yeah, May 3rd is what I'm going to be shooting for, Suzanne. Let's see. Swati would like to know if you followed the KnitCrate patterns or do you do one of your own creations? Okay, she wasn't crazy about the March patterns. Okay, let me tell you what I've done with the KnitCrate patterns. I actually designed one I guess it's been well over a year or two ago. I designed for them. It was a scarf pattern. But beyond that, what I have done with the KnitCrate stuff is I have taken that as an opportunity to expand my personal knitting skills, and I have knit three scarves from these kits, and each time I have knit one of these scarves, I have learned new skills. I actually knit I crocheted another project or two from their patterns. So they are well written. They are nice patterns. They do tend to be on the simpler side. So if you guys are used to some of my patterns with the kind of the extreme cable stuff, you might see some of that in crochet there, but generally not. I think mine was the only one that I've ever seen with cables. But I have learned a lot on knitting. I think for a beginning to intermediate knitter, the patterns are really good. And I think for a beginning crocheter, the patterns are excellent. So you can learn a lot of skills from some of the patterns. But Swati, I think you're just too skilled, my friend. You've got a lot. You are an amazing crocheter, and you're really getting good at knitting. So I mean, I would concentrate more for Swati. I would concentrate more on the knitting projects because they kind of rock, and yeah, I you can look up a lot of the things you don't know on YouTube. At least that's what I do, and learn a lot. Um, and with the 300 yards, a knitting project is much more achievable for sure. Um, but I think there's plenty of yarn here for a really sweet hat or two, maybe a hat and a cowl from this. I'm sure I could get at least a nice hat or two from that. Um, okay, Charlene Lucas is looking for a rectangular prayer scarf pattern. Okay, I have many of those, but I call them stoles, Stole. So if you look up stole on my, go to my homepage and then that little spyglass, look up things on my channel, or you can go to the playlist where I have ponchos, stoles, and shawls, and you'll see several stoles that you could make that would, I think, make excellent prayer shawls like what you're looking for. And a couple of those are free, I believe. I could be wrong about that. There was at least one free that was sponsored by Cascade Yarns. What that means is that Cascade Yarns paid me a designer fee to design this in order to promote their yarn. So that is for free on my channel, and you can get the written pattern from Cascade Yarns for free. So there are some of them out there. Looks like Charlene is making them to donate to cancer centers. Something not too light, but not too heavyweight. Yeah, definitely check out the channel. What comes to mind is if you just look me up on the Cascade Yarn site, you'll see at least one, although that is using chunkier yarn, but you can redo that and just use thinner yarn. I think it would still work out fine. And if you need me to give you any help on the multiples for starting it with thinner yarn, just contact me, bonniebay@me.com. All right. Hannah's having a conversation with Johnny about King Henry VIII. It looks like she's one of my history buffs, Johnny, so look out. Okay, Roberta says the Tudors is definitely not kid friendly. I'll keep that in mind, Roberta. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I imagine. Yeah, King Henry is not family friendly. I'm sure. Probably not the nicest guy ever when you're killing off all your wives. Anyway, this is a happy day, so we're gonna focus on good stuff here. And Ann Butler, thank you, Ann. I appreciate you redeeming me there. She says, messy desk is a sign of a creative mind. You should see my desk. Well, actually, I can keep things in check, but I got to have my stuff sitting out or I just forget about it. Too much going on. Yeah, Esther's agreeing about some acute things in that series, yes. And Sandra, thank you, Sandra. She says, same here, Bonnie. I have to work hard at being organized, but I'm very creative too. Yeah, isn't that great? I mean, we can always fall back on that. But I am creative. I love it. All right, so now we got more technical stuff. I'm kind of scrolling down here. Got some tutor discussion. I'm going to just skip that for now. And Jean says, off the subject, but I made the hooded shawl with red heart polo stripes, and it was beautiful, but it was difficult for me to match up the colors to keep the pretty pattern. Yeah, that is the challenge with those self-striping yarns is you start on one end and then go up and around, and if the yarn is self-striping, it's not going to maybe end up, the stripes aren't going to be the same. What you could do is to just control the yarn by getting the colors you want and just doing color changes and then striping it the way you want, and you can have total control. Of course, you're going to have a lot of yarn ends to hide, but if you're okay with that, go for it. Or if you're just not afraid of the colors being out of alignment, you may actually start your own trend. It didn't bother me that colors came out the way they did. I just figured, it was just fun just to see what would happen there. Yeah, okay. Uh, Emily says, gosh, that yarn is gorgeous. Yes, it is, Emily. Um, oh, thank you for your comment, Susan. I'm so sorry to hear about your loss. Even though it's been 10 years, I know you still feel that. Um, oh, thank you, Swati, for your support. Um, thank you for, Swati bought a kit. Okay, we're going back to talking about this, about the glaze. She bought a kit from Emily. Thank you for your support. And like I said, that if you're buying the original yarn that I showed you, it is an investment. I also wanted to just be totally honest and let you know that I think the glazed pecan color is not available right now. It'll be back in the shop in July, I think is what Emily said. But you know what? There are so many other beautiful colors that are similar. They're not exactly the same as the glazed pecan. Like this is called Subtle Flame. And to be honest with you, this is just as pretty. And there are other shades that, you know, if you go to her site, you can click on it and, you know, get an idea of what the color looks like. Um, a lot of beautiful, beautiful shades. Of course, you may, you know, have your own, you know, yarn source locally as well. And it's always great if you can do that. Um, and Kelly says, are you going to teach us how to knit that pattern? Okay, Kelly, I'm not sure which pattern, if you're talking about this one. This is crocheted. Yes, I do have a video. I'm gonna teach you guys that on Monday. Um, as far as the sweater that I talked about that I'm going to be knitting with this yarn, yes, the reason Emily sent that to me is she wanted a video tutorial to go with her kits so she can refer people to a video tutorial. And yes, I am doing knitting tutorials. I promise you, if you told me 5 years ago that I was going to be doing this, I would just looked at you and say you're crazy. But about 4 years ago, learned how to knit. I got over the hump somehow using Continental. Someone, I think I've told you all the story. You'll be bored to hear it again. But anyway, my Russian friend at So Original made me learn to knit. She's like, Bonnie, you just stay here. You know, I want to show you how to knit. And so I was interested in this hat she was making. I'm like, I like that hat. I bet I could learn to do that. She said, yes, you can. And let me show you how. And she's taught me how to do Continental. And as soon as I saw her doing it, I'm like, that's easy. I can do that. And so I do have some beginning knit videos. They're not my most popular because most of you guys are crocheters. And I've been a crocheter my whole life. But I do have some beginning knitting projects on my channel. I'm not trying to push that hard, but those of you who may have been just curious or maybe like me for years have tried and failed. Um, but it's so similar to what I do with the crochet hook. It's amazing. It's actually easier on my hands when I've been crocheting a lot, especially with big hooks and thick yarn, and my hands need a break. The knitting motion is so minimal with the, you know, I don't do the throwing the yarn after every stitch. I don't do that. I just use the same yarn hold as I do with my crochet, and I do the continental style and very minimum, very minimum. Okay. Okay, I'm looking at a question Hannah just sent me. Very minimum movement for my hands, which is what I need. Okay. Okay. Hannah says that David Browning did a video on his channel. If you want to look at it, I'll be glad. David, if the app here will let you post that in the chat, it may not because it may think it's spam, but if you go ahead and try posting that link, I'm fine with it. It's just that the chat may not allow the algorithm is what I'm saying may not allow, but I don't have a problem if you post that in the chat. It's like a video he did on regaining your crojo when you've lost it. Okay, and he would like to know if I have any suggestions. I think for me, sometimes it's just step away from it. Just do something else. Go get in your car if you have a car and go drive somewhere. Do something different. Put it down. Step away from it. Step away from social media and people pleasing. Um, Not to say that everybody who's on social media is a people pleaser. I'm not saying that at all, but it's easy to either, it's easy to get, beat down by criticism, or to just tire of the social media kind of stuff. I know that's a weird thing to say when we're on social media right now, but sometimes you just have to close the laptop, put it away, go out and do some gardening, focus on something else, step away from it, until you get hungry for it again. Um, that's kind of what I'm doing with my music right now. I haven't had time, and I think I think COVID, just, year, more like 14, 15 months of this, and being away from my family has been hard. It's been challenging, but I will say that God's grace has been here and has helped me so much, and crochet has been part of that for me. So I've been churning things out because that's kind of been my therapy. But I think sometimes just step away from it, put it aside and do something else. Maybe organize your house. Did I really just say that? Yeah, organize your house, clean something. That'll get you in the mood for crochet like nothing else. Go clean your house. And you'll be ready in no time, I promise you. Um, Actually, I do enjoy cleaning. I like seeing things be productive. I really do. I like getting things done. All right, so let me keep on going, see if there's anything. Um, all right, let's see if there's anything. I know I'm woefully behind here. Thank you, Barbara Gaskins, for your kind comment. That is really sweet of you. Um, Let me go ahead and let's see, did I get through everything? I think I did. Let me go ahead and I'm going to finish up. My husband is, like I said, is in town. He's here. And I love you guys, but I love him so much more. I know you understand that. And I do want to spend time with him. So I am going to read you a story. Let me see if there's anything else. I do appreciate you all posting here. Um, Let me just see if there's anything. Oh, Emily says her hubby got KnitCrate for Christmas. Yay, I hope you enjoy that, Emily. Like, you need more yarn, right? It is always fun to get yarn. And I'll tell you one thing about having new yarn. When things like this come, um, it inspires me. It's like, wow, I don't have anything like that. Wonder what I could do with that, and I come up with new ideas. So you just never know. Oh, we have somebody from Cincinnati. I just saw that come onto the phone. Um, Thank you for your comment, Charlene Lucas. That is so sweet. About Easter. Yes, feeling recharged. Thank you for that prompt. I wanted to tell you, I put a link in the video description below, and it's a great Easter song. I know Easter has passed for most of us, but the Orthodox Easter, for those of you who celebrate the Orthodox Easter, that's coming in May. So I'm early for you all. I'm maybe a little bit late, but hey, every Sunday you can celebrate Easter, right? And my sister sent me this song this morning. It's a song that I have actually played guitar for people to sing in churches many times, back in the 80s and the 90s. I haven't heard it sung in a while. So if you watch this video, just know that it's 70s, 80s. You're going to see a lot of mullets, although we never called them that back in the 80s. You're going to see a lot of poofy 80s hairstyles, but just roll with it. It's a song called He's Alive. You may remember this. It's originally written and sung by Don Francisco. I've got like a few of his albums from the past. But this particular video, it's sung by one of my favorites. I love and respect this woman, Dolly Parton. It's sung by Dolly Parton in all her glitz. God bless her. She is such an amazing woman. But she sings the song, and I was crying this morning. I have sung that. I have played, a backup to that song so many times. I know the words by heart. Every time I hear this song, it affects me. So if you do nothing else today, and if you're feeling down or the news got you down, listen to Dolly Parton sing He's Alive. That will change everything, I promise. Especially if you're a believer in Christ. It will remind you of what's really important. So now that I'm trying to choke back the tears, just telling you that, I'm going to try to get through this next story. I don't see any tissue in here. Oh well, I'm just gonna roll with it. I'm gonna tell you a story, and I know that there's a lot of bad news surrounding what happened. This has been going on. I think it's been not quite 2 weeks ago, maybe 10, 12 days. There was a line of tornadoes that hit the South. I think you've heard about it. The news media has marched on to something else. They're not talking about this anymore. And the story that I'm going to tell you is not going to be in the news. It's a true story. This is from a key eyewitness who's my son. My son Caleb has been working in Newnan. He's a part of a small church there, and he's kind of been one of the point people to help people who were affected by the storm. And as you know, when the storm passed through other states, and it left fatalities behind and a lot of destruction. Well, it hit Newnan. I have 2 children and their spouses who live in Newnan. Okay, this tornado, it was categorized as an EF4 for you meteorologists out there, and which is bad. When it was on the ground, it was about a mile wide on the ground doing this destruction in Newnan. And this is a town southwest, I think, I could be wrong. I think it's southwest of Atlanta, Georgia. And of course, you've heard of Atlanta, Georgia, another controversy that they're making a big stink about. I won't comment too much on that, but this is what they should have been making a big deal about, is what happened in Newnan. But of course, it's good news, and since good news doesn't bring profits, ka-shing, ka-shing, you're not going to hear about it. But let me tell you what happened. Okay, and just on the sideline, I was trying, my son had called me and told me what was going on and said, Mom, I knew the weather was bad. I had actually texted my kids the night before and said, you need to keep an eye out on the weather because it doesn't look good and tornadoes are predicted for your area. And so a little bit after midnight, I get a call from my son, or I noticed the phone lit up, and so I picked it up. It was Caleb. And he had been trying to get in touch with Becky, who moderates this chat for us quite often, and he couldn't get in touch with her. The tornado was actually headed for her area, and to make a long story, because they've been longer, the tornado did come within like half a mile of her apartment where her and her husband live. Her and her husband completely slept through the whole thing. By the grace of God, there was no damage to her personally or that area. She woke up to go to work that morning. There were pieces of insulation from damaged houses stuck to the side of her car and stuck onto her apartment windows, onto the screens. The screens had picked up some of the debris that was in the tornado that was thrown against their building. But thankfully, again, and there was debris, just I think there still is in a lot of the area. But this is the story. The day before, okay, that was one night. The night before that happened, in the evening, like I said, my son's part of a church that it's a small church. It's not an in the news thing. And a small prayer group that was a part of that church felt impressed by the Lord to go out together as a group, walk around the high school in Newnan while they prayed. So I know this may sound really strange to some of you, okay? But that's okay. Christians can be strange sometimes, okay? But they felt like the Lord wanted them to pray for their community. They had heard a lot of stories about how a lot of kids were getting behind in their studies in Newnan and high school. And there was a lot of concern, for the teenage community in particular because of COVID. That's something that's worldwide. And people are, we're concerned about our young people. And so, being out of school and everything, and just without the consistency of the education. But so they got together as a group, and they walked around the high school and down the street of their community for more than an hour, praying for their safety from COVID, praying that, just for the well-being of the people of the community of Newnan. Okay. The next day was the evening that brought the tornado down the exact street where they had prayed. And the school, my son tells me that he thinks the school is a complete loss. The school was damaged severely. Doesn't look that severe to look at, but it doesn't take a lot to make a building structurally unstable and uninhabitable. So to make a long story, I guess even longer, like I said, these people were praying, had no clue that this was on the way. Okay, this was like 48 hours before it happened. So the tornado comes down the main street. And not only was it on the ground a mile wide, but it also happened at the worst possible time. It was in a residential area when everybody was at home, asleep in their beds after midnight, at nighttime. Okay? Over 1,700 homes were damaged. This is a small community. 1,700 of the homes have been damaged. Okay? 80 homes were completely destroyed. You know how many fatalities were caused by the damage in this area? Zero. Nobody died due to the damage of the tornadoes. Okay, and why? I mean, call me naive if you want, but I believe with all my heart that these people, I think just who were prompted to pray had something to do with this. There was one person in Newnan who was reported to have died, and that was actually a cardiac event after the storms, not directly caused by the tornadoes themselves. And I tell you that my son, I believe, is a changed person because of this. He was telling me yesterday, and I don't think he'll mind me telling you this. He said, the little petty things that used to bother me and that I get bugged by, he said, after walking on the ground with these people, meeting with them, there were 8 people in his church who lost their homes. So he's been trying to help them and organize, help teams. And he told me that with his church, he said it was 100% of the population of their church was totally on board out serving people, which I thought, that's amazing. That's just amazing. And they're not just helping their church, but they're helping many other people outside in the community as well. So I just wanted to let you all know that. I did not put a link, but I'm going to put a link in the video description below. Again, this is not a solicitation, but I am going to include a link below. Should you want to donate to the church on behalf of the situation. I know they would be happy to pass that along. They do have a fund set up for people who are outside who want to contribute, and it will go to help the people of Newnan directly. I promise you. It's not through a organization that's going to take a percentage out for administration or anything like that. I think it's a total passing it off to where it's needed. But it's not in the chat right now, but I will do that as soon as I'm done with the chat. But I just wanted to share that with you. And I will share a story that Caleb told me last night. He said that a friend of his from church was at the airport picking up a family member with his family. So he wasn't at home in Newnan, and he was watching the weather. And he started texting and calling every person he could to wake them up to get into a safe place, because he knew everybody would be sleeping. And there was one family whose house was totally destroyed. He called and said, "You have 3 minutes, get your family safe." He did. As soon as he got downstairs, under the stairs, the house was gone. So they were fine. They weren't hurt, but it hit the house. So, I mean, Caleb is saying that he's hearing a lot of these kinds of stories. It's just really, it's not just one miracle. It's like a bunch of miracles in Newnan. So Thanks for hearing the story. Thank you, God, for helping me say it without getting too emotional. But I just think we need to hear things like that. That needs to be center stage on the evening news, and it needs to replace some of the stuff out there, don't you think? But anyhow, I mean, yes, there's a lot of sadness associated with losing your things, but just the fact that the loss of life was zero in this community, except for that one man, that is nothing short of a miracle. But anyway, so I wanted to read one more thing. And as we have it, I left my Bible in the other room, but I'm going to look this up on my online resource right now, because I just thought this was such a good verse I read this morning. It comes from Luke. Let me find it. I'm looking it up here. Luke 22. Is that right? Okay. I don't have time to look it up right now, but let me go ahead and I'll just read it from memory. The verse does come from Luke, and the verses are, "Do not be afraid, little flock, for your Father has chosen to give you the kingdom." I just thought that just really spoke to me this morning, and just about the "do not be afraid" part, and just how God protected everybody in Newnan. So anyway, well, let me just check to see if there are any other questions. I didn't get any more text from Hannah, so I think I'm good to go here. Thank you so much for joining me again, and I will read your comments. Thank you again for those of you who participated, and as always, I just love hanging with you. Have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you next week. God bless. Bye-bye.